Okay, hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our webinar today. Before I start, let's just double check that everybody can see and hear us. If you can just write a small hi, yes, or maybe a plus, just to confirm that we are online, we are here with you. Okay, super. So you can all hear us and see us. Great. Also, you're more than welcome to share a little bit of information about yourself, which hotel you represent or where you're from. Overall, being active in our chat is always welcome. And yeah, let's start slowly. So, as you all know, today we are here for the topic of customized revenue and marketing strategies. Let me first introduce myself. My name is Anatoly. I'm the founder of hotellab Revenue Management System. And today I'm joined also by Helena, General Manager of Hotel Emblem Prague, and Alistair, owner of Bookskapia and Luxkapia Marketing Company. Super. So welcome once again for those who just joined us. Today, our webinar should not take more than 1 hour. And during this time, we plan to cover topics such as customized revenue management, which I'll do by myself. Then Helena from the Emblem Prague will share her experience of using a customized revenue management system like hotellab. And also, we will continue our journey of not stopping with customizing your revenue management, but also customizing your digital marketing strategies and solutions you use. So I hope this webinar will be interesting and useful for you, and you will learn something new, or at least you will repeat something important. Just a little bit about our company. hotellab is a customized revenue management platform. We actually like to use the word platform because we see that as a system, we grew not only within like optimization things like pricing optimization, yield management optimization, and so on. We actually provide way more solutions that help revenue managers or people in charge of revenue management daily basis to increase their performance. And we work with hotels, we work with resorts, usually just start from 15 rooms. While we are quite a young company, we already serve over 350 hotels in foreign countries, and we are very proud to be one of the top revenue management system according to Hotel Tech report. Also here you can see some of our clients, which include like independent hotels, boutique hotels, small chain hotels, management companies. So we really help different type of hotels with their revenue management on a daily basis. Before I go to my presentation, I once again welcome for those who just joined our webinar. Can I just kindly ask you all to do a small survey? We would like to know a little bit about how familiar you are with revenue management tools, which ones you are using. So now on the screen, you should be able to vote. You can select a couple of options. So maybe if you can just select which ones you are using. If you're using Excel, don't be, you can also share it. It's also, at least at this stage, can be considered as a revenue management tool. Yeah, super. I see that it's the right audience. Everybody is more or less familiar with revenue management system, revenue management tools. Okay, great. So I see quite a few revenue management system users. That's very good to see. And let me just end voting and share it on the screen so everybody can see it as well. So yeah, so today we have a right audience. Everybody is familiar with revenue management tools. Everybody's using things like BIs, Rate Shopper, and it's great that some of you have already implemented RMS, such as revenue management system, and it will be great also for you to learn new things during our presentations. Oh, sorry, I've just clicked the wrong one. So yeah, my topic today is customized revenue management and why it's important. But before I start, I just want to share a little bit about my vision and our company vision on what hotels should really focus today. And if we look at our industry in the past 20 years, we see that unfortunately we were a little bit slow with e-commerce as in terms of like investing, using the right technology, spending more time with e-commerce tools. Hotels started to do it later, and at the same time, players like big players from OTAs have done a lot of things in terms of investing in their technology, investing in loyalty programs, gaining a lot of traffic. And we have to admit that until today, we are still living that OTA have a certain dominancy in e-commerce, right? They dictate certain, policies, certain strategies, and so on. And if we will kind of sum up, I believe you will agree with this statement that hotels did miss a moment in e-commerce era, right? When hotels could have invested a little bit more in e-commerce, I'm sure we could have keep more margins, a little bit more, of all e-commerce pie inside our industry. And if we speak about era, now it really feels like we are entering the AI era. It's still in the process of first steps, but it becomes more and more widely used in our daily life. And it's still a lot of questions like, can AI really deliver, or it's still overhyped? And in terms of revenue management, we believe that it's already time to admit that there are certain things that we can do using AI. For example, with AI, we can process thousands of data points, which can really help us, to see things we don't even see, right? Because we just have a lot of data that AI can work with. With AI or similar to AI tools, we can react much faster. And more importantly, with AI, we can keep learning and adjusting things, 24/7. But clearly, AI is still far away from understanding the full context of our hotels, make any strategic decisions, manage any risks, and also decide on a long-term vision. So clearly, we still, need to manage AI, while it's actually already bringing a lot of interesting values to us. And while this buzz continues, we believe it's very important to admit that today we have to be way much faster and data-driven with any decisions we make, as otherwise, with AI capabilities growing, we will end up that bigger players, we will be bringing the technology, the decisions, which at the end of the day will be again taking the margins of hotels. And in order, to compete with those, who will be taking the right efficient decisions to make hotels, more productive, it's really important to build this technology puzzle, as we could call it. So we have the in-house technology, which can really, keep us owners of our data, of our decisions, of our strategies, and at the end, make the decisions for our hotel, to be more profitable, not to make it more profitable on certain channels or certain meta and so on. And how we can take this step? We believe it's really important to change our thinking, like our mindset, that technology or AI-based technology like RMS is should not be anymore treated as just a software. It's more like an assistant, or maybe co-pilot, in some cases autopilot, right? But it's more like something that can help us, not something just, it's just something like a standalone software. It's something that already is part of our daily routines. And here's one of our examples, which we always show when we speak about, AI importance growth. One of our hotels, they decided to calculate RMS expenses as part of commercial department labor expenses, not anymore as a technology and IT. So basically, they're treating that almost like a person inside their commercial department, and that's really something which can highlight, how technology, like a data-driven technology, can really now become more like assistance to us, not something that we need to set up and put as an IT solution. And that's change of mindset can really help us deliver much faster results and compete once again in this AI era with the bigger players who is now investing heavily in AI. And coming to our customized revenue management. this is definitely, becomes way more important for us also to understand how RMSs work, because once again, this will at the end will be bringing us way more, a lot of efficient and profitable decisions. And when I was launching hotellab, and I had experience, working with other RMSs, being a revenue manager. One of important things for the hotellab was the transparency of the algorithm, because I used other RMSs and I saw that most of them, at least at this stage, were whether relying on fixed rules and fields logics, or were black box. For me, after using several RMSs, I really felt that all of the RMSs, they were built to help large city hotels to increase revenue, but whenever it was like boutique hotel, resort hotel, or any other hotel, the algorithm was never sufficient enough, and it really needed the customization. And this is how we came up with the idea of our RMS being very customized, because we see that every hotel has some certain specifics which RMS must understand. It all starts with basic things like seasonality, your product, your pricing logic, but it can take way further. For example, how active you are with digital marketing, right? Last year you were not investing in advertising, now you're investing in advertising. It does change the patterns. Are you a new hotel on the market, or you've been on the hotel for a long time? Maybe you're preparing for renovation, right? And you just need to increase your cash flow. Maybe you want to work with your ADR. So there are a lot of small things that needs to be taken into account when you implement RMS, and that's why this customization is vital for any RMS project. And as you can see on this slide, we strongly believe that any professional RMS needs an implementation process, which in our case takes at least 30 days, because it really helps to understand, the goals or the strategies of hotels. It really helps to integrate properly with the technology used by the hotel, customize the algorithm, but also do a lot of educations with hoteliers, so that the hoteliers themselves can also feel way more confident into the system and understand where the system, where you can fully rely on the system, and where you need to, where you are able to put your own strategies into it. One of the very important parts of any implementation process is data validation. We see that it's very common misunderstanding that people always treat RMS, hoteliers often treat RMS as sort of like how you treat market demand, right? What's happening with market demand? I need to react on this market demand, and what sources you have from the market. This is actually not efficient, just for simple reasons that if you look only on the market demand and trying to catch market demand, you actually become reactive. And the key thing of any professional RMS is actually to react on the demand using your own patterns, and your own patterns are actually your sales data from your PMS. Therefore, it's very important that RMS have a very deep understanding of what's happening with your bookings, with your sources, with your segments, with your inventory, and so on. So as deeper the system looks into your PMS data, and as better the system integrates this data with the market demand data, that's what at the end of the day helps to achieve highest result. The other important part is also the usage of a rate shopper data, because mapping your competitors correctly, mapping them on a rate product level, on a room type product level, is also something that increases the accuracy of any recommendation the RMS will make. And once again, so how you treat your rate shopper setup is also vital for the success of RMS project. In regards of algorithm customization, we at hotellab giving quite a few things that the user can customize. For example, weight of competitors, like which competitors you believe should influence your pricing recommendations more. Also, like the balance between ADRs and occupancy, because sometimes we see that hotels want to focus a little bit more on total revenue. Sometimes hotels wants to focus a little bit more on the ADR and optimizing the expenses. So all of those things, they actually also become dynamic, right? So which strategies you want to focus, and that's something that you can also do using our system, but it doesn't mean that you need to adjust it on daily basis. You can just predefine seasons, set up the seasons, and also adjust those seasons as you go. So basically, whenever there is a shift happening in your vision, right, like how you want to, I don't know, be a little bit more aggressive with your competitors, right, increase a little bit the cash flow, increase a little bit the occupancy, and so on and so on, you can really adjust it just by changing the season approach inside the RMS. And if you need any sort of assistance with it, we also strongly believe that we work in the human industry. Our customer success is always in touch with our clients, and we always invest to increase the competence of our customer success. And that's another thing that working with RMS can provide. So you can not only treat it as technology, right, data-driven technology, but also sort of as a consulting, like what we can improve together, what is happening with the market, what's happening with trends on the market, and so on. And we are also constantly upgrading our knowledge base, upgrading our account management team, so we can automate also any strategies recommendations which you want to receive more often. And to sum up, this RMS implementation process, our key goal is actually to take away, daily routines from your revenue management. So you don't need to spend, hours doing revenue management. That you can just by spending 10 minutes per day, check your strategies, check your reports, check your analytics, adjust whatever needed, and keep on doing the same things. But we all keep on doing your own things, like managing hotel and so on. But we always say that you still need to be, working with your RMS, and just spending 10 minutes per day to it can really, make a significant difference in terms of results. So it's very also important that you still, keep on being strategic, right? But just to take away your daily routines. And before we go to today's case of Emblem Prague, just maybe another case which we always laugh about, working closely with the RMS. It's owner of Bella Vista Hotel in Greece, who has about 30-room hotel, central city, but quite seasonal. Antia, she came to us with basically two key problems: that she doesn't have time for revenue management, but she actually understands how important it is, because she is always worried of selling her rooms, right? And by implementing certain things like open pricing, updating the rate updates frequency according to her specifics, so she can always double check the recommendations and allow her to adjust strategies during the season as she goes, helped her to increase revenue mostly through the ADR. So basically, season over season, like for 2 years in a row, she was increasing revenue mostly through the ADR, and she saw that ADR was basically giving her a lot of extra opportunities. So she was reinvesting back in her own hotel. And what happened that while she implemented RMS first season and was the 2-star hotels, she then shifted to being like a 3-star hotels. And now, as far as we know, she's even planning to change it to a 4-star boutique hotel. So basically, RMS project helped her, to do a sort of evolution of her own product, right? From being more like a budget-oriented hotel as a hotel more focused on a little bit like more premium type of guest with a higher ADR. And this is a great example of how RMS can really just support you so that you don't focus much on daily things, right? You understand the market better. You understand your price, like what is the demand, how much you can increase your price. You're not afraid to increase your price, but you reinvest in your own product, which gives you way more opportunities at the end. And that's the ideal story, especially when it comes to like a small, medium-sized hotels that you can. RMS is basically bringing you extra profitability, which you can decide however you want to use later on. So this was my part of just explaining why customized revenue management is important. But to make it a little bit more interactive and share another cases, we invited Helena Valtrova from the Emblem Prague boutique hotel, and she will share her experience of using our RMS, and we will try to do it in a little interview format. So I will be just asking questions to Helena. But let's first, Helena, just check that everybody can see you, hear you.
Hello, can everybody hear me?
I can, but can you please write in chat as well? Okay, yes.
Perfect.
Super. Okay, great. So yes, so Helena, once again, thank you very much for joining our webinar today. You were one of our first clients, in particular in Czech Republic and in Eastern Europe. And I remember, when we started first speaking with you, you were already using another RMS, and your key thing was that you still had to interact with RMS too often, override rates and so on. And you really like the idea of customization. So can you just share a little bit more about this, initial inquiry, why customized RMS were important for you?
Well, we are a small boutique hotel. We have just 59 rooms. So of course, for me, the price of every single room at which we sell is quite crucial, because it's enough for me to sell 1, 2, 3 rooms at the wrong rate, so to speak, and it really affects the end of the month and end of the year results. And I was constantly looking something which would be more customized, which would be looking more at the Prague market, at our property, which would be looking at the competition, but at the same time not take the price at which the competition is selling at as the main dogma or as the main algorithm at which to set my rate. And that's why I think when I met you guys, everything just fell into place, and I'm quite happy that we started our collaboration, because I can see, and I could have seen, automatic results and immediate results, from using your RMS system. I still, of course, work with it on a daily basis, or I look at it on a daily basis, but not as much as when I was using the other systems, when I had to really override the prices and be very cautious about the automatic price suggestions the other systems were suggesting. With this, as you said earlier on, I would prefer if I can use it a little bit more like my brain, as opposed to just being my power tool, but it's very close to that. So I'm very happy about using it.
Okay, super. Yeah, once again, we like, maybe using it as like a co-pilot assistant, right? So it helps you to make it much faster, right?
Yeah.
Super. And also, if you can just share a little bit information about your integration process, like
the integration process was super easy. I mean, I would almost call it, by the time I made myself a cup of coffee, the integration was done. The integration is done through Mews, which is my PMS, where it's super easy. I think it didn't even take us 30 days for the full RMS system to be up in place, and for everything to be automated, and for all of the rates to be changed. So it was quite easy. I think with us, it's also, what's better is that we don't have that many rates going on. The integration process was super easy. You guided us really easily through it. We have, as I said, Mews as our PMS, so that was the main integration. You connect well with it, and then from Mews through DH, which is the channel manager, we get the rates displayed on OTAs and on the other partner networks.
Yeah, regarding the Mews, it always saves us at least 7 to 10 days on, you just click in marketplace, right? You don't need to write an emails and wait for reply from the support manager to activate integration and so on. So yeah, in fact, with Mews, certain things are optimized. But as far as I know, that we help you to work with both like a room only and bed and breakfast rates. So that was also very important for you, right?
That was very important for us, because for us, the price of breakfast is quite high. It's 30 euros per person per day. So of course, when we were looking at the rates, I know you and I, together with the rest of your team, we also carefully looked at the other competitors, for example, that we have within the system, and have a look if also they are selling on the same principle, which means the room only and with breakfast, as well as looking at, for example, if they are a Booking Genius or if they are part of any of these loyalty programs, because of course they in effect optimize the price for the competitors as well. So there were all of these factors to have a look at. But as I said, the integration I felt was super easy. I know that at this moment we have it set up and integrated really well to take into the fact that we have both room only and with breakfast prices.
Yeah. It's once again, as I mentioned earlier, that this room and rate type product mapping is very, very important. That's also what helped us to achieve results and also treat it differently from your own sales, right? So we understand the trends from each rate product, basically. But since you mentioned about competitors, I think in your case we have quite dynamic per seasons also weighting of competitors. So
yes, I'm trying to play around with it a lot. I know that I've changed the list of competitors recently as well to adjust, because for example the list you have there on at the moment, I think I've changed it last week, because things like Mandarin Oriental and Four Seasons, even though for me it's really important to see at what rates they are selling at, it's more or less inspiration only. But I wanted to make sure that I don't have them on there so as they wouldn't affect the pricing algorithm too much. So that's why I played around with it, and I play around with the weighting of the competitors as well, because some of these, of course, have different strategies over the seasons or over the individual course of the year.
Yeah. Well, that's great that you mentioned, because it's actually a very common case for us that sometimes when new clients, they ask us, please give us a recommendation for our comp set, we always give it wrong because we always give them, based on the pricing dynamics, right? And the pricing elasticity. And then they always come to us and say, but I want to look at this one, but they actually want to look at the as a competitor from, also marketing perspective, also from inspiration perspective, right? That know that whenever it's low, medium season, usually those competitors like Four Seasons or maybe Mandarin, they have no influence on you. But when it's like peak season, it will come to you as well, right? At the end of the day, right?
But I work with STR as well, so that's why I've changed the comp set and I took out the likes of Four Seasons and Mandarin, because I know at the end of the day, if I really want to see how they are performing, I can see it, be it that it's old data or the data of what has happened, but I can see it in the STR report. So now with the hotellab and the comp set, I have properties that are almost kind of like more like my real-time competitors and a little bit more closer to the style of the hotel, like the Emblem is. And I think at the moment the comp set is a little bit more better representative of the whole revenue structure for the Emblem.
Okay. Yeah, super. But it's great that you also understand that it's ongoing process, right?
Yeah.
So this year might be one vision, the other year might be a little bit of a different vision. And it's great that you mentioned that you are using STR. We're always happy to see when hoteliers are comparing their results with the market. We're doing the benchmarking, and we are very proud to see that. I think after the first months, the first results were already about 6% uplift, and later on we got to 15% uplift in revenue generation index, which I think great mutual achievement, right? Through this customization, because I remind you that you were using other RMSs before. It's not like you went from starting.
I was using 3 other RMS systems before I ended up with hotellab.
Okay. Super. Yeah, that's great to hear. That once again about the customization, right? It's all those small details.
It's all
help-
about customization for me, because I wanted to make sure that I can make sure that any algorithm I set up would be very much Emblem related and very much Prague, upper market center of Prague related. And I found that with the other RMS systems, it was really difficult for me to do so.
Yeah.
That they were taking kind of like a global structure without really looking at the Prague market, which at least, especially after COVID, is very specific compared to the other European markets, I find.
Yeah. In fact, and that's why I mentioned on about this like AI era, about creating your own puzzle, but still being in the strategic, like generating strategies in your own business, in your own revenue management is very important, because everything changes, right? So basically you just need to ease off your time, not keep on doing a lot of rates overrides, but just adjust the system according to your vision, quarterly, monthly, yearly, depends, on your specifics. But also what I think we heard from you, a nice feedback that you like that the pricing recommendation were always growing closer to arrival, because I think Prague market is quite likes to them, to drop the prices closer to arrival. So that's, if you can share a little bit more about this as well.
Well, as you said, I'm quite upset with the comp set, with the competition in Prague, because I think Prague is very specific, that closer to arrival, when hotels see that there is lack in occupancy, or if something happens, there's some kind of a crisis or something like that, the first reaction, especially in Prague for most of the hotels, and it starts unfortunately with the big chain hotels, is to dramatically drop the price. And of course, for me as a smaller hotel, it's then very difficult to decide what to do, because on one hand, I don't want to drop the price, but then on the other hand, if I don't, I'm one of the most expensive hotels in Prague. I found out that, or we are finding out, and we are seeing that a lot of the time, closer to arrival, we are receiving quite a lot of cancellations, because obviously people are not choosing not to travel to Prague, but obviously they are rebooking a cheaper hotel. And all of this is again something whereby your RMS system with the forecast in demand is coming in very handy, because again, that helps me with setting up the correct strategy, and with, as your screen says, with the planning. And then together, of course, with Alistair, who you will hear from later, we are trying to make sure that the guests, once they had made the booking, that basically they don't cancel through various activities and various email communications and offers that we can send them, to make sure that they feel almost sorry to cancel and to rebook to another hotel.
Yeah. You already covered my next question, and I think it's also highlight importance of treating those as like strategy decisions in the puzzle, because RMS is not a magic stick which can do everything for you, but it can just help you to do certain things, right? But how you will go and work with this challenge of Prague hotels, liking to drop. This is a market trend, so it's sometimes there is not just one right decisions there, right? There are several right decisions, like and which route just you want to take, right? So maybe you want to not drop so much retail price, but go for this promise, and so, or more aggressively also work with your retail price. So it's really up to you, because at the end of the day, you as the owner, right? So the RMS can take the risks on itself. I think the one thing I've mentioned already, maybe don't need to cover it much, about reviewing your strategies, right? So as part of our customer success, we always in communication with you, and then Georgios, our customer success manager, at least every once in 2 months. I think we have a quick call. So that's also very important. We are very happy to see you being such an active user. Maybe just as the last question, you actually already partially covered it, but overall, like how you see the Prague check and overall, this season, this summer season, what are the trends? How are the results?
Well, to be honest, this summer was really weird, to be completely honest. And I hear that from not just the hotels in Prague. I hear that from most of the industries. And I think it wasn't just for Prague, it was for quite a few of the European destinations. Thanks, of course, to your RMS system where I can see the forecast and what's on the books for the upcoming 3 months. I was seeing not such a great results in, for example, May and June for July and August, which is what prompted me to make certain decisions and choices in terms of rate strategy and offers and promotions that we basically did, and which helped us to basically jump up to the occupancy and to the revenue which we needed. September and October, again, it's looking like we might need to do something because, again, the occupancy is not looking to be on parity with what it was last year. And it could be very many reasons. I mean, we've had 2-3 big openings in Prague, which, of course, because we had the Fairmont, for example, opening up. And of course, these kind of openings always take some of the clients which are coming to Prague, which hopefully otherwise would have been at the Emblem. So it's much more of a difficult time. And I think next year is going to be a little bit more challenging as well, with some of the new openings and some of the new restructuring of the existing hotels.
Yeah. But I think in your case, it really helps. And I remember joining a customer success call just a couple of weeks ago with you.
Mm-hmm.
That you're also checking results with STR, right? With the benchmark. Yes. Because we believe it's always important that not only compare with year over year of your actuals, right, of your own data, but also checking with the market. Because if RMS helps you, like if everything going down, all the market going down, but you're going much slower, right? It's also a great result, right?
Yeah.
For RMS. So we are looking a little bit deeper now together into your STR results. But overall, yes, Helena, thank you so much about transparently and openly share your experience. Dear colleagues in chat, if you have any questions, you can also write it down. I think Helena will be online with us if you would like to ask. I don't know, I saw a chat that voice is not clear, but does anybody else have the same issues? Maybe. Okay. So yeah, I mean, sorry if it's not clear. Maybe it was temporary, or maybe you can just restart the link. But yeah, just summing up Helena's part, that we as hotellab, as RMS, we really feel like we are in the same boat with hoteliers, right? And it's really just all together being smarter, doing more strategic decision rather than doing too much tacticals and too many routine things can really help us with all the challenges, because we need to be also we all need to understand that next years will be very challenging, because after the COVID, people were traveling, and now the competition is growing, right? People, inflation is growing, so a lot of things are happening, and a lot of challenges are coming, and we need to address them all together. And I think that's also comes to our next part, right? How you can continue this journey, because now, as AI increases, e-commerce increases, it's really becoming a lot of we're getting a lot of opportunities how revenue management can combine with your digital marketing strategies, right? Because nowadays we can sell not only through OTAs or websites, we can do a lot of other activities which will bring to our website or to our social media more direct bookers. And here we can all welcome Alistair once again. Yeah, Alistair, I think that's now coming to your part. So you can share a little bit about your experience with the Emblem and how you continue this journey of, doing a custom approach, not only in the revenue management, but now in the digital marketing.
Yeah, thanks so much, Anatoly, Helena. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for having me here today. I was listening to the presentation and I was thinking that, hotellab is a product made by hoteliers for hoteliers doing the things that hoteliers really need done. And that's one aspect, but also the aspect of the customer support is so important. And I think it ties really well into Bookscapia, because if a hotelier was going to make a marketing platform, booking engine, website, well, that's exactly what we did. We're hoteliers who built this for hoteliers and understand the unique challenges you have in your business. So we actually call Bookscapia a marketing engine. Of course, at the heart of our business and platform is the booking engine, but we do so much more than that. And the challenge of marketing in the digital era for hotels is you've got all these disparate systems that you have to join up. You have to join up your Google ads, your SEO, your content, your brand, your strategy, and your booking engine. But very often, of course, they're disconnected. So a few words about us. We run two businesses, Bookscapia, which we're talking about today, which is a full service agency for luxury and lifestyle hotels. Really, I should say independent luxury and lifestyle hotels. We offer a booking engine, which is at the heart of what we do. It has a built-in loyalty program. We also publish websites, and one of the unique aspects of our solution is that the booking engine is fully integrated into that website. So we have this merging of content and e-commerce. And then we also deliver the digital and data-driven marketing for our clients across search, SEO, social media, email marketing. We help and assist evolve the brand strategy, and of course work within commercial strategy as well. So we work really closely with the teams at hotellab for our clients to understand what really the commercial positioning of the hotel needs to be and communicate that effectively. Luxcapia is a curated collection of luxury and lifestyle independent hotels. We currently have about 200 hotels curated so far, mainly in gateway cities, also Mediterranean resorts, and focusing really on European city breaks. So today it's all about Bookscapia. What's our vision of driving direct business for hotels is that it's a 360-degree approach. So, the days where you paid a lot of money to have a website and someone over there manages that, you select an off-the-shelf booking engine that you connect with a simple book now button, and then you try and do your marketing with all these other different solutions. We kind of have a more integrated approach to all of that. So we operate across all of these areas on the screen here. So from your brand, which is all about your brand identity, your unique positioning, communicating your guest experience, to engaging customers through offer landing pages, pop-ups, unique content. We have a very advanced availability calendar, which leads people into that funnel through to converting them, with strategies like member rates, capturing more data, how you present your rooms and your rates is so important. And right through to that whole generating demand, we deliver all of that email marketing, Google ads, meta ads, and so on. And so let's look at just some of the results. We're actually achieving up to 68% web direct for some of our clients. And so these are really world-class results, even higher than some of the global chains that I've actually worked with in the past. And so let's dive into the case study with the Emblem Prague and what we've been doing over the past, well, I suppose it's about 14 months now, driving direct business for the Emblem Prague. The situation when we started was that, as Helena explained, Prague is a very, very highly competitive market. Whilst there is at times of the year, and most times of the year, a very high demand, there's also a very high level of supply in the market. And as such, it's also a key market for OTAs. They target this market a lot. They're doing a lot of marketing to generate demand. And as such, the OTA distribution had reached the point in Q4 2023 where it was 64% of hotel business. So, Helena's approach to us was really of the mind of how can I get back control and reduce my OTA commissions by looking at the website, by looking at the digital marketing, by looking at how can I do better than an off-the-shelf booking engine. And actually, I think also that the notion that there were too many solution vendors and not each of them taking credit when it was successful and none taking the blame when it didn't go so well. And so now she's only got me to blame and or me to praise. And I'm quite happy with that situation of responsibility, much as it can weigh heavily at times. And also she just upgraded to hotellab, so was already making some progress. And this was the natural step to approach next. So we proposed a solution covering digital, so a new brand platform, brand identity. We came up with a whole new communication platform. We redid the website. We introduced the booking engine, content management, and loyalty program. On marketing, we upgraded the email marketing solution, provide search engine optimization, and then advertising across search, display, social, meta search advertising as well. And then finally, from time to time, I mean, Helen and I talk weekly, sometimes daily, and we're always talking about the commercial positioning of the hotel, and we kind of talk about the price matrix development, but also the comp set and how we sit into that. And it's so great knowing that hotellab are really, really great at adapting to that evolving scenario as we go through it. So today I thought really quickly I'd go into 5 tactics that we've worked on with Helena to increase direct bookings, but I think that these tactics could be applied in the context of all of you on the call today. So number 1 is, it sounds so simple, member-only rates, offering the best price direct to your customer. But the amount of times that we see that hotels are actually inadvertently offering cheaper prices to OTAs, particularly with Booking.com and Expedia, where it's so easy to do a mobile rate discount or a country discount, and very quickly you lose sight of the fact that they've actually got a better price. So we developed our booking engine in a way that made it very easy to highlight member rates. The guest can see the price, they can see the discount they can access, but instead of a book now, select this rate option, they see an unlock this rate, and we make it very easy to register and join. So you can join with just a simple email address, or you can connect also with Google or Facebook, and this is a very easy way. They don't have to create a username, but of course, when they do that, we receive the data. And this is kind of transformative for hotels because the volume of data that you're able to collect in this manner is far exponentially higher than if you were doing a subscribe to my newsletter. So we kind of touch 2 things. We're guaranteeing the best rate, but we're also capturing a lot of data. And that allows us to take that data and use it in marketing. For example, as soon as someone joins, we trigger an automated welcome email series introducing the hotel, introducing the benefits of being a member, talking about the services of the hotel. If the customer doesn't book during that unique session, we can trigger an abandoned booking email and of course set some rules about how often we trigger that and after how many searches we might trigger that email. And then finally, once that data is in, we synchronize that data across all platforms. So it goes into the CRM system, but we also populate other platforms like Meta, Facebook, or Google. And of course, being a member gives you access to your member account on the booking engine, and you can manage your bookings, change your dates of stay, cancel your booking, God forbid, or add some extras, upgrade your room, and do other things. So the second thing is reducing friction. And so this is all about what we can do to really improve the customer journey, driving that customer seamlessly through the booking funnel. And of course, as the first thing you can imagine, having an integrated booking engine versus a third-party booking engine where you have very little control except for a book now button, or if you go, perhaps you might put a calendar, but the calendar doesn't know the availability. So we talk about blending e-commerce and content together. So for example, on the homepage, a slider presents each room type, but you actually have the real price there. And once you've put in the dates, you actually get even the real price of your stay. And we can transform that button from just go and have a look at the room type page to actually take me to the checkout now. So it's much more seamless for the customer, and that journey through to the checkout and booking is much more carefully planned. We have a much more control of it. Another area we look at are special offer landing pages. So for example, we can make a landing page on our website which displays one or a selection of rates which you have control over, and the availability calendar displays the prices and availability for those specific rates. So if you're running a limited availability flash sale that's not available on peak dates, the customer can see when it's available. Or if you have a 3-for-2 offer, the customer can see when it's available and is forced into the 3-night minimum stay on the selection of the calendar. So it's a very advanced calendar. It does some other fancy things. For example, it doesn't only check possible arrival dates, it checks possible departure dates, which means that 100% of searches are successful, and we never want to fail an availability search. That's the biggest drop-off point that you would have as an independent website. The second thing is data-driven marketing. You know, how many of you have had the marketing agency walk in and talk about marketing automation and talk about custom audiences, and then you go away and you try and implement that, and suddenly you're in a mess of Google Tag Manager with your third-party booking engine, and actually it just doesn't work. So I think this is one of the things that we are most proud of at Bookscapia, is that we've solved this problem. Again, because we have a fully integrated solution, or we run it on a subdomain, we are able to track a customer through the whole customer journey. But we take that data a lot further. So we, for example, have a bridge of data between the PMS and our CRM system. So on a daily basis, reservations and email addresses are exported automatically as they happen from the PMS to your CRM, from the website and booking engine also up to the CRM. We have a customer data platform where you can analyze traffic and create segments and push those segments up to other advertising platforms like Google. You can create audiences. So you can have an audience who are interested in spa, an audience who are big spenders in your restaurant, an audience who come every time at Christmas. And those audiences you can push in an ad message from email, Meta, Facebook, Instagram, and Google Display all in one go, all in one campaign. So it's about targeting the right customer at the right time in the right place. And all of that leads to much higher ROI in your marketing investments, which leads you to more confidence in doing it more regularly, which alludes to what Anatoly was saying, is when the marketing is going well, that's also a signal for the prices to increase. And of course, all of this can be automated because it's all connected. The fourth thing is content marketing. So, you know, websites should be rich in content, always evolving, but also that content is part of your SEO strategy, but also part of your brand strategy, because the content that you're sharing is also positioning your guest experience and the type of guest you might have. So, you know, the Emblem is all about art and modernity and interior design. And therefore we have a lot of content about things to do in Prague related to the arts, art galleries. Helena has an art gallery partnership. We offer free tickets to galleries, to VIPs when they arrive. And we communicate that through the content that we've evolved on the website. But this, of course, gives us a lot of content that's creating that long tail of keywords on Google search. So, for example, people who are interested in coming to Prague for art find the art gallery, but then see a link to Helena's content and actually end up reading the review of the galleries on her website. We also use some tools within for SEO. So of course we use Google Search Console that allows us to not just track what Google is, how we're ranking on Google, but we can use it, for example, to resubmit pages, to have old pages removed, and identify any technical issues that Google might have with our websites, like page load speed and so on. And then we use another solution called Moz, which is very interesting because it's almost like the STR of search engines, because you can compare your website to your competitors, see how your competitors are ranking for your target keywords, but also identify, are there any keywords that your competitors are getting traffic from that you might want to target as well. So it helps to evolve your keyword strategy. It also helps you to see how well you're doing in your search marketing. And you can even go as far as to identify links on the internet that your competitors have got that you don't have that are sending them traffic. So it's a really useful tool to really drive your SEO forward. But above all, you know, my message is that yes, there are technical aspects to SEO, but actually SEO is just good content. And so as long as you have a content plan and you're building your pages, having considered all the technical aspects, the SEO rankings will follow. I think there's a lot of companies out there that sell like this kind of black box of SEO. My message is just purely good website, good content, and the rest will follow. And then finally, an interesting one with Helena, and actually we're working on this at the moment, was to develop the travel agent segment. And of course, travel agent is not necessarily considered direct business, but it is non-OTA business. And it is resulting in you diversifying your distribution strategy than just having too much business in one place. And actually, many travel agents aren't too worried about commission. They're actually more concerned about providing the right service for the customer. So it's an area we've worked on. We provide travel agents with a book on behalf functionality. So they can enter their name, their details, their travel agency, their IATA number, and then separately enter the guest details. They can go in and edit and see in a management and a platform all the bookings they've made, and then edit their customer bookings independently. And we've also gone as far as tagging commissionable and non-commissionable rates throughout the booking process. And then ultimately, this is leading to us deploying travel trade marketing, working closely with sales representation companies in different markets, and that also developing that travel agent database. And so this was another way it's actually driving and increasing business through the booking engine, but also creating travel agent loyalty. And by the way, we saw that they have a less likelihood to cancel the bookings compared to OTAs. So giving a more secure source of business in the business mix is always good. So talking about business mix, how have we done? So the light green bar at the bottom is the indirect websites, OTAs. So you can see over time that's been decreasing. The direct to hotel is the dark blue, and travel agent and website direct are the dark green, and direct website is the pink. So over time, you can see we've really been reducing and managing to reduce the OTA business in the hotel. Here is the variances. So you can see some kind of key points here where we initially launched the IBE. Later, we launched the website and had some good results and increases there. And then finally, a really nice example of marketing activity was in the spring, in April this year. We launched a flash sale to get not just immediate bookings, but some advanced bookings for the summer. And you can see the growth that drove. I think it was a 400% growth year on year on web direct bookings, and also another record year of month of direct web. And here you can see the progression in website revenues going back to June of 2023. So in June 2024, we launched the booking engine linked to the current website. And then November, we launched the actual website. And there you can see also the flash sale that we ran. And that flash sale deploying all of the things that I've spoken about today, using the additional data that we'd captured, data mining the PMS for more data, doing an email campaign, but also pushing that out onto all of the digital channels, and the result we had there. So yeah, that's how the work we've been doing for Helena, the results we've achieved, and above all, it's also been a great time doing it together. Oh, sorry, one more slide. This is an interesting one. It's just showing the breakdown of member versus non-member. So you can see the orange line is the percent of the number of member bookings. The blue line is non-members. And you can see that getting more data, getting more members is almost a self-fulfilling prophecy, because the more you have, the more they come back and the more you get. Thank you.
Yeah, super. Thank you, Alistair. Helena, if you have anything to add, you are more than welcome. Also, in chat, you feel free to prepare some questions. Yeah, yes, Helena.
I think Alistair covered everything. I mean, I'm super excited and happy to be working with him. It's great that Alistair is from the hotel background, so he understands my needs and the way, anything from Google Ads or hotel websites needs to be set up, which is not always the case with other agencies that you come across with. Yeah, so it's all perfect. I mean, we have not just the travel agency landing page, but other things in the pipeline. And I myself must say that it's great to work with Alistair. And I'm really happy that through actually Nico from hotellab, we were introduced.
Oh, thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Helena. Thank you, Alistair. Yeah, we are very happy to see that your partnership works well. I think, yeah, once again, as you saw all how custom it was and how many details were going, Alistair with the team was going through, it's once again proves how important it is to customize and to implement the strategies. I believe that it might still sound for for hotels, for hoteliers, that RMS is customer journey map data and so on, that it's still like in a very developing mode, but coming to my initial part of the presentation, there were times where hoteliers was thinking that website and booking engine is something that we don't really need, or we don't need to invest it, and so on. And yeah, look where we are, trying feeling a little bit behind, and trying to catch the e-commerce trend. And coming back to this AI era, it really feels like and I know it already, that a lot of big players, they are getting now, they call AI teams or data science teams or machine learning teams, or however they call them, but basically they're taking revenue management expertise, digital marketing expertise, customer journey map expertise, and bringing algorithm building, developing algorithms around this data. And the key part here is actually that we really need to own our data, right? Because if we don't own our data, if we don't understand what are sources, right? What is the loyalty comes through, right? What are the segments and so on? What is nationality mix? If we don't take it seriously, we will be left behind, because the bigger players will be just bringing more production to us, right? We will be getting too lazy, right? And then they will be taking our margins. So I think it's very, very important for all of us to invest more in data-driven type of solutions, because it's just a matter of time that there will not be, some guests will start preferring to book hotels through AI tools. Just please plan me a trip to Prague, right? And then AI does this planning and gives the link where to book or how to book, or even books through the AI. And we really need to be there, because if we won't be there, once again, we will be losing a lot of margins. So, dear colleagues, if we still have maybe one time for one more question, if you like to write it in the chat. But maybe, Helena, just a quick question to you, because we spoke about revenue management, digital marketing, but as a general manager, where do you see maybe other opportunities for hotels become more data-driven, like using technology? I don't know, maybe expenses, or maybe guest communication. Like, do you test anything right now, or do you have anything in mind?
Well, at the moment, I think it's with guest communication, but that's something that me and Alistair are trying to do quite a lot, because at this time, especially when I was mentioning before, I do see that our hotel has quite a high rate of cancellations, but that's not on direct reservations. That's usually on the reservations that are coming from OTAs like Booking and Expedia, especially. So what I see, it's much more crucial, is to work on increasing the direct reservations, increasing the number of travel agents that will book direct and not through the GDS, which is actually getting to be quite challenging to persuade them to do that. because I see that then once the clients have booked direct, and once they start receiving, offers to the spa and to the concierge, art tickets, and so on, they are much more reluctant to cancel, because they feel that once the relationship has been built with the hotel, then they do prefer to stay, and they do not look elsewhere to rebook just because a hotel next door has decided to drop their rates to something which is the bare minimum of keeping the hotel alive.
Okay.
So communication with the client, making sure that marketing and PR strategies are in place to make sure that clients are booking directly, and getting rid of the dominance of the OTA, which is still unfortunately quite heavy for us. But year on year, it's improving with all of the activities that we are doing.
Okay, super. Yeah, that's great to hear, Helena, especially in a professional way you do that. You have a project, right, and you have metrics you want to increase. That's amazing, and I'm sure yes, Alistair will assist you with that. We actually have one question regarding the rate parity in chat. The rate parity in the revenue management was very important at the early stage, right? But today, lots of hotels are out of parity and offering lower prices on their websites and OTA channels. Has it changed the way you use meta search marketing? And if yes, how? It's a question to you, Alistair, and maybe Helena, if you have to add anything.
The answer is yes, it has changed the way we use it. And I think it's an interesting one, because we had rate parity initially because actually it was forced on us by the OTAs. And that first they forced it onto us, and then they said, oh, but you must sign up to Genius. So actually inadvertently they asked for parity and then took it away again by forcing us to give them Genius discounts so they had better prices. So of course many hotels start to say, okay, I'll go in Genius and I'll inflate my price so it's the same. I'm going to make sure that I have a member rate direct. The thing is, if you undercut Booking.com on meta search, they know about it, and what you'll find is you won't get as high visibility, despite the fact that you're on Genius and despite doing special offers with them. So it is something that we have. Rate parity or having better prices direct is something that you have to be wary of, because Booking.com and Expedia do have this billboard effect. 95% of the traffic through search engines actually is brand aware. They're typing in your hotel name. So of course, where have they found that? They found your hotel on Booking.com and they search on Google to find you. So the way we've actually experimented was first by putting cheaper rates. Whilst that got us more clicks from the meta search, we started getting lower visibility on OTAs. And so now for many clients, we're actually just switching meta search off, because price conscious customers are then forced to visit the website direct. And I think once you've got them on the website, then you can convert them. So actually, we're almost not doing that channel anymore because of the way the OTAs behave.
I can only second that, to be honest, because I've seen that what we try to do is always be cheaper on our website. We try to do that at least via the member rate, so it's not, so in your face, so to speak. But I have seen that, we as a hotel, we switched off on Booking, for example, the Preferred Plus and the Genius and everything like that. And what I've seen is a dramatic drop in the conversion rate and in the bookings on Booking.com. Because even though, of course, all of these OTAs are proclaiming that they are not comparing and they are no longer interested in rate parity as between the hotel website and their website, it's obviously something which they inadvertently are looking into, because I can't really explain how else the conversion rate and the visibility on these OTAs would drop so dramatically after switching all of these marketing rates, which they call it, off.
Yeah, indeed.
By the way, yeah, at hotellab we also have something to say about it, because right now we are developing, and hopefully it will come live in the next couple of months, as we will be calling it yield strategies and pricing strategies. So basically, it will allow you to set up certain strategies, very basically, for example, switch off, I don't know, promos on OTAs when you forecasting more than 30% share from the OTA. And the very important part here will be the forecast, as I said, because if you just make it on some actual metrics, right, it will exactly it could exactly harm your billboard effect on the OTAs, right? Because it will be constantly switching off whenever you want the OTA. But if it will be based on the forecast, it will mean that we will be switching it off some promos on OTAs or making some better offers on the official website. But if it will harm my forecast, meaning that I'm not getting enough bookings from certain channels, it will adjust, right? So combining it with the forecast, and being dynamic, that's what we will be trying to solve through the yield strategies and pricing strategies.
And I must say, I really like your notifications because my PMS system, for example, doesn't really set. It's impossible for me to set in my PMS notification about, for example, once reservations on the books reach 85%, which is a notification for me, to do certain actions, like switch off any promotions, switch off most of the OTAs to make sure I get just a direct, I just work on direct. So it's great to have that in hotellab, both for on the books as well as for the forecast.
Yeah, super. That exactly brings us to the factor that now revenue management is not only about, managing your retail prices or so on. It's also about combining it with your digital marketing strategies and visions. Okay. Super. I think Alistair, Helena, thank you very much. I know, Alistair, you have another call soon, so we need to wrap up things slowly. But dear colleagues, you will receive all the presentation contacts of us, also as you see them on the screen now, if you will be interested to implement an RMS, and also contacts of Alistair, if you like to get a little bit more at his company, if you like to get a little bit more information about how you can customize your digital marketing. And from my side, once again, Helena, Alistair, thank you very much for being with us and the trust of using hotellab or being partner hotellab. And I really hope that we, with this presentation, we kind of cheered up a little bit hoteliers to become more data-driven, trying to give as much as possible of routine jobs to the technology and become ourselves more strategic, because that's one way or another, that's what's happening right now. We need to be way more driven and faster into decisions if we want to keep up with the production. So we'll be all in touch with you via email with the presentation, and please subscribe also to our LinkedIn. And Helena, Alistair, we will be in touch with you for sure.
Thank you very much.
Thanks everyone for listening. Thank you so much.
Enjoy the rest of your day, and
thank
you all in chat. Bye.
Bye.